Good morning and welcome to Kingsholm Stadium in Gloucester for the second round of this year's Inter-Services Championships, rugby that is, and it's between the Army and the RAF here at the home ground of Gloucester. And what a, well, not a perfect day, it could be a little bit warmer I think up here, but we're seeing the teams are coming out now. We'll quickly run through them. The RAF women first, we've got Corporal Danica Wilmore at 1, 2 Maria Waghorn, 3 Natalie Knott, 4 Ruth Harper, 5 Emma Tadman, 6 Captain Squadron Leader Chrissy Sixauer, 7 Kat Robinson, 8 Sean Williams, 9 Lucy Nye, at 10 but wearing shirt number 25 is Amy Cockayne, at 11 is Ree Walton, at 12 Kate Edwards, at 13 Charlie Murray, at 14 Annie Forbes and 15 Amber Guest. The Army women, if I can get it in before the national anthem, Corporal Sarah Batley, Sarah Mina, Natalie Lewis, Heidi Silcox, Chelsea Sneed, Jade Biskin-Barnes, Beth Dainton, Alex Hardy, Nina Croker, Lily Patrick, Ray Dean, Lou Dodds, Chantel Miller, Charlotte Tweddle and Gemma Rowland, their captain. And as we wait now for the national anthem for these two great teams of rugby. VIPs now being introduced to both teams. This is the Butler Cup, by the way, being played between the RAF and the Army. Remember, it's the Army's home game, so I'll try and put them first to begin with. If the RAF win, they will win the Inter-Services Cup, as they beat the Navy a couple of weeks ago at the Stoop. They're being introduced to Lieutenant General Sir John Lorimer, who's the President of the Army Rugby Union, and Air Marshal Jerry Mayhew, who's the Vice President of the RAF Rugby Union. And while we're doing that, let's just meet my co-commentators. We've got 2 Navy bods here, so obviously they're going to be completely neutral. First of all, Loz Salisbury, just tell us a little bit, well, we know your name, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just retired from playing through injury, but still enjoying coaching for the Navy and civilian clubs as well, and really excited about the game today. Yeah,
you're going to bring some inside knowledge of some of these players and the way they play as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, they always try and change what they do, but we've seen them play for a long time, and hopefully we like to see the good traits as well.
She's got some good stories. Next we have Rich Mason here, also ex-Navy, used to play. How many caps did you get for the Navy in the end, Navy?
Quite a lot actually. In total I think it was around 1.
Okay, grand total of. But you played for them, that's good enough for us.
I have. I made a very meagre and small contribution to the 2009 and 2010 campaigns. One not that successful, one very successful.
But interesting to note, probably when you were playing, the women's game probably wasn't quite at the heights that it is now.
No, I don't remember just it being anywhere near as prominent as now, and that clearly that's a good thing in the journey of the last decade of where they've come from and to.
Yeah, and I mean that's the story of men's rugby as well, is ever improving, Loz. And nowadays, if we look at these two teams, there's so many club players now that you've played with as well, and that's really what's made the improvement is getting those women's into the clubs.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it just means that they can.
Yeah, Loz, sorry, as you were saying, I mean, it is exciting to see, and I think the excitement is because the level's so much better because they're playing in clubs.
Yeah, it means they can figure stuff out at club rugby, and then when they come together for military rugby, they just got to work on the fine-tuning and gel as a team, which saves a lot of time and stuff like that.
And I mean, I'm not asking you to make a call, but what do you see from this game? And everyone's really excited, especially the last 2 years of this match. Everyone's very excited about today's match.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see the teams on paper. I hope that they can both bring what they are, that they're definitely capable of. See them use the referee how they see fit, and go from there really.
And Rich, as a sort of, I know you probably followed rugby, military rugby, since you left the service, but how excited are you to be watching this on such an amazing ground as well?
Again, going back to sort of previous point, I think the last decade has been so fantastic in terms of the development of the game, both actually in the professional approach from the men's point of view, but also from the women's point of view.
Yeah.
And we're about to see some of that come to light now.
Okay, seconds counting down. It's the second round of the inter-services, and this is the women's Army against the women's RAF. And they're away. Do you think, Loz, that playing here will have, obviously a bit of added pressure? They're used to, you guys have played at the Stoop as well. What will be going through their heads at the moment?
I think they'd like it. The fancy platforms that they get to play on, it makes it more of an occasion, and I definitely, when I go to a better ground, I much prefer playing there, and I hope the girls will turn up and enjoy that rather than be put off by it.
Yeah. I think we may go through a few nervous passes, and that may have been one just there. It looks very impressive from up here, sort of clean rugby. That's what we want.
Yeah, I think they'll want to set the tone quite early, both sides.
It's important, that, isn't it? And in fact, the game last year, which was actually at Halton, for a 10-0 scoreline, it was actually a really, really tough game. And you said earlier that it was a lot about, the mindset and the fact that the RAF had so much of the ball but couldn't get it over the line in the end.
Yeah, that's always a shame when people can't convert points, but it's the game at the end of the day, isn't it? It's all very well spending time in the right areas of the park, but if you can't come away with points, then it doesn't really mean anything, does it?
No. And Lou Dodds there speaking of last year, she scored a couple of tries, kicking the ball out there. So
for the viewers at home, there's quite it's pretty blustery here at Kingsholm. There's a wind coming as you look at the screen from right to left, so that'll give the Army a tactical advantage in the first half, assuming it continues.
I assume that will also make a difference. We've just watching the line out there. That one was quite short. Do you think that will be an option they take because of the wind?
Yeah, they'll want to warm up early as well. Get their hooker in, and let it progress as the game goes on.
Army just trying to find the corner of the RAF defence there, and really good marshalling by the RAF.
And they've won the ball.
And a turnover.
Yeah, you can see the Army were trying to play wide there. With Amy in the midfield, it's not an area they're going to look to go to first hand.
Interesting to mention Amy there. She's playing at fly half today, not her normal position for England or the RAF, but she's such a central player, such an important player, and such a, the play works around her. That's probably why they decided to put her in the middle there.
Yeah, there we can see Amy trying to batter down the midfield there for the Army.
And all big names been involved. We saw Gemma carrying the ball in. Chrissy's been involved already. Be interesting to see how those big names. There's Lucy Nye, who's been out, not playing rugby for 7 months. It's her first game back, she's been officer training. So I think she's pretty excited about today.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unfortunate. Yeah, that could well be nerves early on.
Shame here, both teams actually getting the ball to the corner of the defence, but just unable to capitalise on the outside.
I think Chantel might have had a few words with the ref there.
Yeah, this will be interesting. First scrum of the game always was my favourite part, but yes, see who turns up for this one.
Will it make, I mean, at this level and in the women's game, how much is the scrum and the size of the scrum as important?
We definitely thought about it last week when we played RAF. If there's a massive weight difference, you could be the best scrummagers in the world, but if you've got a really significant weight difference, that will play a part. You can definitely say for both teams, the men's and the women's. I mean, they can call themselves athletes now. You know, the sort of shape and the training that you guys get done is phenomenal, really. Oh yeah, definitely, and the club rugby comes into that as well. You know, a lot of the girls playing Tyrrells and international. This is what they live their day by.
That was Gemma Rowland had the ball there, but unfortunately knocked it on. She'll be disappointed with that.
She did Gemma Rowland, she was running in support there. She pointed to the area that she wanted to attack, or the ball carrier inside her. Just the execution wasn't there, but really good communication and good direction from the back.
So you know, that will just work towards, you know, they'll probably do that at another point in the game, I imagine. But Gemma, again, another stalwart of Army Rugby, and has obviously played Wales as well, and a club player. She's she just seems to be eternally on that pitch. I can't see the day that Gemma Rowland gives up Army Rugby, to be honest.
So plenty of space on the blind side here for the RAF if they can get it through the hands.
Probably could have had that final pass, but she was taken in.
Yeah, good leg drive there from Emma Tabman.
So the RAF have advantage here. So they'll look potentially to use the free ball, might be a kick in behind. They do have numbers on the left hand side.
And they've got space as well. And that is she's been bundled across. No. Yeah, try given. Looked like she'd been bundled into touch, but try given. So that's 5 up to the RAF.
Yeah, good score there from the wing. I didn't see which one it was.
We're just figuring out.
Some really good core skills there from the RAF. Using the 5 metre channels, you can see them trying to use it early.
They will be,
really come off
and they will be delighted with that, because that's what they've been aiming for, is to get a score. That was Annie Forbes, the left wing there, who in fact she swapped to the right wing. No, she's playing left wing. It's very confusing. All these changes last minute we've had, but yeah, the RAF, having in many years before not scored against the Army, this will be. I mean, that speaks volumes to what they'll be able to achieve hopefully today.
Yeah, and certainly at inter-services, the Army are not used to coming from behind. They've got some really good pre-warm-up games to their inter-service campaign, but this is not a position they are used to being in.
Right, no conversion there, so it's just RAF though, 5-0 up within, we're at 7.5 minutes. Just a reminder, we're live here from Kingsholm in Gloucester for the second round of the inter-services, Army versus RAF, and this is the women's. Don't forget the men's coming up live here at 3 o'clock as well. We're only 8 minutes in, and the RAF are already a try up. So the Army really, didn't have a huge amount of possession there, and so it was almost inevitable that the RAF would score. So they'll be looking to sort of keep hold of the ball, I suppose.
I think probably Army at the moment, they just knock out the errors. There's we've seen quite a few errors from both sides, handling errors thus far. The conditions have probably got something to do with that. But both teams will be wanting to perhaps shorten the length of their passes a little bit, because the ball will get a bit wobbly trying to do miss ones and miss twos in this weather.
and it did look like the RAF had the space there. Do you think there'll be a temptation to sort of maybe mark Amy in centre or more in the centre and they've kind of forgot about the wing in a way?
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the reasons why the RAF have put Amy there, to try and tie in, especially Lou Dodd and initially Gemma when she was meant to be playing 13, tie in their key players and give the space out on the outside. Yeah.
RAF ball there. Okay, and there's Lucy, as I mentioned earlier, Lucy Nye, been out of rugby for 7 months, officer training at Cranwell, if I'm not mistaken. She'll be absolutely buzzing from this. Amy down the middle again, straight out.
Yeah, not a stable platform for the RAF there, but used it really well.
The RAF have been fairly secretive in the lead up to this, and kind of haven't wanted to sort of discuss too much in detail about the team and what players they've had. I think they really believe that this is their year.
Seeing another knock-on there within the first 10 minutes. I think that's 5 knock-ons already from the Army. So going forward, they'll probably just need to get together and just shorten the passes and concentrate on their basics.
Yeah, I told they struggled a little bit for availability leading up into inter services. They've had a few pre-game changes, not even pre-camp, pre-game, and they'll need to try and figure that out on the spot rather than having a week's training to use that.
Katie Edwards with a strong carry there into the Army defence.
A lovely tap forward from Amy. And she can display, so that's a hooker, that's an England hooker, who's got, ball in hand, has got wonderful kicking skills.
Yeah, she loves a good kick, does Amy.
I think she just loves everything rugby. I mean, that's the feeling I get from her.
Yeah, her family made the conscious decision to move over from New Zealand. She grew up as a kid in New Zealand, and she said to her mum and dad that she wanted to play England for rugby, so that's why they find themselves here today.
Yeah, she's done them proud and continues to do so. Now that was an Army line out. Didn't look entirely straight, but it's but they've got the ball.
I think the RAF will be really pleased with their start. They've definitely got the momentum and the ascendancy at the moment.
Yeah, the RAF will definitely have thought about their penalty count over this week's training. Really high against the Navy last week. Definitely not something they're normally seen to be doing, so they will make a conscious decision this game to try and keep that much lower.
And that was a very uncharacteristic error from Lou Dodds, kicking the ball, was hoping to kick it into touch, I assume, but it's now in RAF hands. It does look brighter out there, but I'm not sure it's any warmer.
It's not up here.
It's not up here.
And after saying that the wind is going right to left, it now looks like it's going left to right.
We've got everything for you from Gloucester.
Yeah, good footwork there from Amy.
RAF have found the corner again. Line break.
Into
that
Chrissy.
Looks dangerously lateral.
Yeah, and she's over that. Captain Chrissy 6 Hour loves scoring a try. Has he called it up?
Not sure if there's a bit of a double movement in there.
Okay. She definitely went down, but I didn't think it was a double movement. The refs are discussing it.
And the penultimate pass looked flat on a good day.
Okay, they're bringing it back. But still, I mean, try not awarded, but they're going to take it right back there for the forward pass.
Yeah, I mean, even
it's just the momentum.
Try not awarded will still get into the Army's heads.
Yeah.
You can see that the RAF have the capability to put points on the board this year, and that will definitely play into the Army's minds.
The RAF are getting really good, quick ball, and that's actually the reason they're finding the corner of the Army's defence. There's 4 or 5 times now with relative ease. When we say the corner, we're normally talking about the 13 channel, where it's the last defender before the winger, and if you can reach that corner, it usually spells trouble for the defensive team.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think you can actually see that this has got into Army heads here. They're floundering a bit, and they're so close now to the RAF line. I mean, it's interesting. The two, I know it was but the movement that the RAF had forward it's like they've worked it so hard on both wings. It almost seems to be identical on both sides. So they've practiced that a lot, I'm sure. I think the errors that the Army are making have often been what the RAF have done in the past. It's gone into their heads too much, and maybe it's the fact that they're here and it's a neutral ground. I know it's the Army's game, but it's a neutral ground, and I think maybe they just seem to be a very changed team. And Loz, you were saying even from your game, touch. That was from when you played them at the Stoop as well.
Yeah, from an outside view to the RAF and the Army game, I think half of it's believing, and this year the RAF genuinely believe that they can do it. Last year we all knew they had the capability, but I'm not sure they were convinced themselves. Yeah. But this year I know they definitely think they can.
Loz, if you're the Army captain at the moment and you're down and possession is down and errors are up, what are you sort of saying to the girls when you get them together?
It's about doing the simple stuff well, not overcomplicating things. Go through your processes. I'd like to think they'd have spoken about being in this part of the park. The RAF have got a really good attack, so they should have addressed this in training, and they just want to go back to basics, get the simple stuff done well, and try and work on their exit set.
Is that what you'd be saying, Rich?
What Loz said. So, Loz, when you said exit sets, what does that mean?
The way in which they would come out of their own 22, red zone, danger zone, or whatever you want to call it, is not a place any defence like to be, and it's definitely got an area in training that we all like to work on.
I see another mistake.
And ball carried over here. It's likely to be a 5-metre scrum to the RAF.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of confusion there from the Army, still trying to figure it out and gel a bit.
But I mean, that was a fairly basic pass. It wasn't that long. It wouldn't have been caught in the wind. But yeah, just.
And look, in the situation they're in with a lot of mistakes, they're trying to play the ball out the back. I think probably for me, I'd be just straight to the 10 and wallop it downfield and get yourself out of your own 22.
Yeah, I'm not sure we see that from anyone other than Fiji, do we? Trying to run out of the 22.
Bristol men's from time to time as well.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of confusion in lines as well.
Aria scrum, winger, and she's carried. Oh, she's taken out. Couldn't get down.
You can definitely see the RAF testing though. They're trying to pick certain areas of the park and seeing what the Army have brought to the party.
So Army coming offside now. Penalty to the RAF. They've opted for a scrum. There's a really, really big blind side here, which, if it were me, I'd be looking to attack down the blind side here because there's so much space and one defender.
Yeah,
the other thing I might think about doing is going for 3 points.
Right. I know. I think their heads are up.
I'm surprised they've changed that with Sean at 8 and Chrissy at 6. I'm a little bit surprised they've changed that, but they'll want to keep ticking the points on the board.
Yeah. Again, mind games probably. Ree Walton, she was tackled. Yeah, she didn't quite got over the line, but then was tackled off by the Army, which is she just couldn't get the ball down, unfortunately. But Kate Edwards here with the penalty kick.
Yeah, 3 points here as well will also put the Army outside of a converted try as well, which is is another part to the mind game.
Oh no, right of the post there. So still RAF still 5 up. Missed a conversion and missed a penalty, but definitely in the ascendancy here. I think they're definitely got the Army under pressure.
Yeah, that's not going to be the last opportunity they've got to either go for the blind or the sticks.
Possession stats at the moment are around 70-30 to the RAF. Similarly with territory.
Yeah, we seem to be looking pretty much down this side of the pitch to the right of us as we look. We're nearly 20 minutes in here, so that's the first quarter done, and I would say, yeah, like we've been saying, pretty much all RAF at the moment.
Yeah, the RAF again still trying to pick at that 13 edge and use the 5 metre channel.
I mean, in truth, if I'm looking at it from basics, it's all ball to hand with the RAF, and that's just something the Army haven't done so far.
No, that again coming from behind will be clogging up thoughts, I'd imagine.
Oh, she took it.
Really good regather there from Chrissy.
Okay, and they've got advantage here, so whatever happens, it'll be RAF ball, foot's out there with the ball in hand.
Yeah,
so it'll come back.
Trying to work in away from the try line. Didn't quite manage it, but you can see them definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, I think Ree Walton is deserving of a try.
It's Beth Dayton down there with the medics at the minute. She's a big part to the Army team. Moved across from the wing. Done a bit of time internationally and with Quins as well. They definitely won't want to lose her.
Okay, well, Beth's up, so it's good news. I think if we don't like talking about injuries and making excuses, but like you said, even in the last 12 hours, the Army have had to make changes because of certain fitness and injuries to some of their players, and that's probably playing on their minds as well. But in this instance, RAF are going to go for the touchline. Just a reminder, you're watching us live from Kingsholm Stadium, Gloucester's home ground. They've let us borrow it for this second round of the inter-services. This is the women's game. The men's coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So come back to us live on forces.net Facebook page and the Forces Sports Show YouTube page as well. Wasn't straight.
Yeah, you can see the RAF there trying to set up for the maul. Whether they were going to ship it out quickly, you don't know. I mean, they've got the option of both this year. It's not something we would ever naturally choose to do against the RAF. It's definitely been a strong point of theirs this season.
You haven't had anyone from the Army sort of, asking you about how the RAF played. I suppose a lot of them were there a couple of weeks ago at the Stoop. They haven't tried to get the inside track from you.
Yeah, no, we generally sort of play against each other at club rugby as well, and with the games on TV, nothing's secret anymore, is it? You can kind of see it all.
Knocked down again by the RAF. They've been really good at that. The pressure they're putting on right on their try line is pretty immense. But it's in Army hands at the moment.
So the Army just looking to get a platform here, and their exits currently
are not working.
Again,
not
working.
That's a third, and that's a try. No, it's not. It's not forward. I'm getting far too excited every time they cross the whitewash.
Yeah, RAF defence really, really quite tight there. I think they can get away with it because they're on the Army 5 metre, but and you could see the Army recognise that and try and push it wide. And with that cross-field kick, I think they were trying to open that up a bit. But again,
so the exits, Loz, you were talking about earlier. Currently, that's the fourth exit inside their own 22 that hasn't gone well from the Army. That's been 3 charge downs now. You might be looking to get your 9 to box kick, because either the 10 is not standing deep enough or the RAF defence is just so quick up that she can't get the kick away.
Yeah, I don't really know the background behind this 9 or 10. It's not their usual faces, so I don't know whether they're new to the game or just new to the Army. I don't know. You can see them trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Kind of, they're trying stuff.
You're watching a bit of stick it up the jumper and try and retain the ball and just trot it over your own 22 and get out of your red zone.
I think they've obviously decided that the kicking isn't working, so they're going to carry it at hand instead.
Yeah, the Army are generally really fit as well, so they can afford to tuck it up their jumper and not tire too easily with that.
Just seeing, it's just little mistakes, like you say, it's the basics, and to me that looks like a nervous side. But then they have been in this area of the pitch for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's been coming though, isn't it? With the RAF getting closer and closer and putting the results outside of this match annually, I would be worried if I was the Army as well.
So, Loz, would you be picking 8 and 9 and the winger blind here on the short side? Or the long side, but the blind side?
I don't know. I mean, they're all loaded onto the left, so they look like they might want to go there. But again, you've got Chrissy and Sean on this side.
Lucy Nye out. That's Rhee again. They've got her number. But yeah, just keep the ball flowing. Amber Guest there at full-back, bring the ball in. Lucy Nye out again.
Yeah, RAF really not afraid to move it as well. I don't think they want to clog their game up with too many rucks. Quite happy to give the offload and ship it out wide.
There's Annie Forbes again,
Kate
score
Edwards.
of the first try. But you can see how Amy's working everything in the middle as well.
Yeah, Danica Wilmore with a good take up to the line there.
Chip forward. I think she meant to get that a little bit further on. But far be it from me to tell Amy Cockayne how to play rugby.
So you can see the Army all completely stacked up there forwards now, and they'll just be looking to pick and go around the edges, gaining 1 or 2 metres every time and just sort of relieve the pressure a little bit for their 9 and 10, who something at the moment isn't going too well for them.
Yeah, Gemma Rowland and their 10 both stacked on the wider side though, on the right, which I think would suggest they want to kick that way if that's something they're going to look to do. But if it's still working for them, they might just decide to keep it in hand.
And a turnover for the RAF. That just is a show of what they've been achieving in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, the Army will be really disappointed with that turnover as well.
Unlucky. And that would be a knock-on from Annie Forbes. But, I mean, the momentum's there, the speed's there. The 2 wingers have, had several chances from the RAF side.
The RAF spent a long time in this part of the park as well now. They will look to go for a return on points at some point.
My neck's getting stiff just looking to the right.
Yeah. We've also been provided with stools, but we decided not to use them.
So, Loz, from the Army point of view, they are making loads of mistakes. They haven't really been out of their 22, and they're only 5 points down. There is actually a bright side to it for the Army, because they're still within touching distance, and they really haven't been playing too well at the moment. Yeah,
of course. I mean, they have been up the other end for a bit, but they just really struggling with the retention side of it. And where the RAF are making such ground on turnover, it's really hard to recover from that, where they're not making the same distances in their own attack.
Amy Cockayne running through the middle as she does so well. Is that... Yes, that's over. That's another try for the RAF. And their star player, Amy Cockayne. We could see that coming. That girl loves scoring a try.
That try was one for the squat rack.
How many players did she pull with her then? Unfortunately, she does seem to be down though.
Yeah, quite a few. Brother Thomas, watching from Afghan, might not like that try because he's army, but
it must be difficult
torn
for
between
him.
family and
Yes,
service,
exactly.
I think.
And sadly, Amy's actually still down, so we'll keep an eye on that. She stood up, so
Yeah,
maybe
she'll get
just a
back
bit
up there.
dazed. Well done, Amy Cockayne. 10 points to nothing to the RAF. 28 minutes gone. Kate Edwards with the conversion here. And she hasn't got a kick yet. She's had a penalty and a conversion, but it could be the wind. And that one is also slightly to the right.
Yeah, I wonder
like a bullet,
if wonder if Amy starts having a go.
Right.
She's not shy of a conversion either.
Okay, so we are 29 minutes gone here at Gloucester in the women's Army versus RAF inter-services. A reminder, if the RAF win this is where they will win it, because they've already beaten the Navy, and this could be the year. But also worth reminding you, the Army have never won. Army have never lost. Army women have never lost an inter-services fixture. This is, as it stands, this is big.
Yeah, very unfamiliar ground for them.
You can look left now, Rich. Whole new part of the game, but I mean the RAF have been that dominant that we have literally just been looking at one half for most of this game. Yeah, there's a knock on by Chrissy Zigzauer there.
The Army will feel much better being in this part of the park as well. They've taken the try, but they're not in their own 22 anymore, so they might gain a bit of confidence from being in a better part.
I think they'll score. They'll score at some point, and we'll have the game that we wanted. But they just, it's almost like they need that score.
I think here they need to make the most of this possession. You might look at sending Dodds on a truck up the middle and just try and get her over the gain line, get a bit of momentum and get your forwards round the corner and keep it relatively tight to gain that momentum.
Yeah, they'll want a stable platform on this scrum. If things aren't really working for them, going backwards or turning isn't going to help. Isn't going to help the nine either.
Got a good mix-up. I mean, we talked about club rugby earlier. Good mix-up here of girls who played Saris, Quins, and I'm talking about both sides, and Wasps as well. So be weird when they have to face up against someone they probably play with week after week.
The advantage here for the Army for the high tackle off. I think it was number 12, RAF number 12. Kate Edwards there.
And Chantel Miller there in the action, and then, of course, until this morning she was on the bench. What does she bring to a game? She's a big, powerful player.
Yeah, she's been around a while. Definitely a familiar face.
Space out here.
We've got numbers here on the left.
No. It just seemed a bit laboured. From what we've been seeing from the RAF on the wing, with the short, direct passes, that seemed very laboured when they had so much space.
The Army also seem a little bit lateral at the moment. I think they probably need someone to kind of straighten up the lines of running. In terms of defence, it's very easy to defend a team that's kind of just shifting across the field, and the RAF are ultimately just sort of marshalling them towards the touchline and waiting for a mistake to emerge.
Yeah, as happened there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not using Chantel Miller for that. She runs a really good, solid line. That would keep the RAF honest in what they do in defence, and would give Gemma and a winger much more space on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Chantel from a few years ago, and I don't think she's necessarily got the speed she used to have, but still in shape and a crucial player. So although she was going to be built on the bench, probably she'll be quite important at this stage of the game where they're behind.
Yeah, she's moved positions as well. I can't remember whether it was second or back row. We saw her play last year or the year before. So, she's got a good all-round knowledge in all parts of the park. But good pressure from her there as well.
Yeah. And we did mention Amy Cocaine's brother, Thomas, who's out in Afghanistan. So big up to you, Thomas. So I hear you'll be watching, probably getting grief from your mates about your sister being better at rugby, but we'll leave that to her. That wasn't a dare. I really wanted to say that. No, we've met Thomas. We did a lovely piece with him and Ian and Amy a year or so ago, and he's just as passionate. But we're getting a lot of messages in from people from Canada. I would say at the moment there's a lot of support for the Army. Come on, RAF supporters, let's get you online. Come and watch your ladies, at the moment, winning.
Hopefully they're all here.
I just noticed that Ash Coates is watching. Ex-Navy analyst, but also coached them.
Head coach, yeah.
So hi Ash, you've flashed up on our screens. We're watching you. But yeah, we've got... when we've done these live streams, we've had viewers, and it's brilliant with the force as well, because Belize, you've had Canada, you've had Afghanistan, and it's just it's brilliant just getting people involved. So please leave a message and we'll try and get it read out for you.
Scrum here for the Army. A very uncharacteristic mistake there from the RAF. Just didn't quite go to hand in the midfield. So again, the Army will look to use this place on the park.
Gemma with a great running line there. I think Gemma epitomises how hard the Army work physically. I mean, she seems to be constantly in the gym.
Yeah, Gemma, I believe is a full-time rugby player. So she gets to enjoy that stuff every day of the week.
Elite status. But another mistake by the Army, and it's back in RAF hands. We're now at 35 minutes, so 10 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining of this half. I went into football mode then briefly.
Yeah, Army number 10 struggling a little bit. I think the RAF are putting a lot of pressure up that channel, and it's starting to wear a little bit now.
What we need is some noise from the shed. They're right in front of them now. I'm sure if any Gloucester faithful will know what the volume you can get at a match that Gloucester are involved in. So
great line-out execution there by the RAF.
And this is,
gaining some momentum. They've just got advantage for Army impinging, coming in at the side.
This is the thing, isn't it? It's great to have a good line out, but to carry it forward another 10 metres like they have done there.
Loads of space here.
What's he come back for? No, that's not a try. It's come back for.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's bringing this back for, but the RAF will be really disappointed with
exactly. Was that Ree Walton again? Ree and Charlie down there.
So the infringement is the Army coming in at the side, and the referee's just going over to his touch judge just to have a quick word.
He's calling a scrum there.
Hard lines there for the RAF.
Yeah, I thought they were a little bit further forward than that, but the RAF will probably look to do the same again here.
Yeah,
a lot of confidence from that catch and drive.
And they had so much space, didn't they?
Yeah, forcing the penalty from the Army as well. It's definitely something we're going to see again today.
And when we talked about the kicking from hand, Amy twice now has sort of kicked forward that chip and charge.
Yeah, great footwork as well.
There she is, perfect draw and pass, Katie Edwards. Excellent tackle there. by Gemma Rowland. Army defence is very narrow at the moment.
Kat Robinson doing really well on the ground there. She spent a good season at Saracens with Chrissy Sakauza.
That's Annie Ford. No, sorry, it's Amber Guest there.
Kat Robinson with a good carry.
It's Wilmore. It's in Wilmore's hands there. Back out to Lucy Nye. I can tell you that Loz is coaching from the commentary booth.
It's a good job they can't hear me.
She has promised not to swear.
Again, they have numbers on the left here if they can just get it through the hands. Need someone to straighten up. There it is.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of confidence. Trusting the phases and knowing that you can retain your own ball like that. It shows good signs for the RAF.
Yeah, I mean it was a gamble from a high kick there, but very nearly made it. We are at 39 minutes, so not much time to go here in the first half, and a reminder that the RAF are 10-0 up. If they win this game, they are Inter-Services 2019 champions, something that has never been done by anyone other than the Army in the women's game. Moment of history. We hope. Maybe. I'm neutral. I'd just like to be a part of history.
Big blind side
Massive
here.
Space on the right.
Looking ominous.
Yes. Oh, that's
great
she's
tackle.
So close.
Fantastic tackle.
Guess looked like she was over, but not quite.
Alex Hardy there for the Army. We're coming up with a clutch tackle.
They're just trying to use numbers to get across, but they're so good at the space as well. Lucy Nye, the little pickle. She's over. Brilliant. That's how you celebrate being out of rugby for 7 months. Well done, Lucy Nye.
Yeah, I
she
think
saw
they
the
definitely
space.
enjoyed.
They thought she was going to keep passing, but she saw the space, and I hope she won't mind me saying this. She's quite little and agile, and she just nipped in there.
Yeah, some people are just really hard to get hold of.
Slippery little characters. Wow, so we are here in Gloucester. The RAF women are 3 tries up on the Army women, 15-0. I can't imagine what they're thinking, and I expect they're just, if you look at the Army now, that I'd like to say they're on their knees, but they must be seriously worried, because this is such a good effort from the RAF.
Loz, what are the half-time messages then for the Army to try and get this game back on track for themselves?
Just to go back to basics, you can see them trying stuff. It doesn't look overcomplicated, but maybe they just need to draw it back again a little bit more and just keep it in hand, maybe a little bit tighter and earn the right to go wide.
There we are, first half done. Unsuccessful conversion from Kate Edwards, but the RAF are 15-0 up as they go into the changing room. And I came here and I said to myself, and we were talking about it in the office all week, and we all said the RAF are capable of they've been capable for the last couple of years. They've had the girls, they've got the players, but they really, really believe in themselves this year, and it's so noticeable out there on the pitch. Yeah, the players are coming back out again now.
So welcome also to Joe Weeks and Scott Richmond, wherever you're watching. Nice to have you here.
They're both Forces TV staff. So isn't that good? We've even got our own staff are watching.
Just bumping the numbers up a little bit, aren't we?
Are they meant to be working?
No, thankfully. I think they're off the weekend. But Scott, I borrowed your headphones. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, RAF coming out now as well. They will have had a very different half-time chat to when they played us last week.
Yeah, but I hope they haven't. I mean, I doubt that, these girls are very professional, but, you don't want to get carried away, because 15-0 at the moment could be nothing, knowing what the Army can do, what they are capable of.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd call it a 0-0 restart and try and keep to that mindset.
So I'd like to see from the Army here a little bit more direct running, keeping it simple, one-out runners, and just build some momentum.
15 points to the RAF, none to the Army so far. And here we go, second half of the Inter-Services Army versus RAF Rugby. Danica, good solid start there.
Score 15-0 to the RAF as we kick off here at Kingsholm.
And I'm pretty sure the RAF have never been in such an advantageous position against their Army counterparts in an Inter-Services match. Just a reminder, if the RAF win this, they will win the Inter-Services Championships of 2019. The Army, meanwhile, have never ever been beaten before. Just going on what you were saying, Loz, before we came in, Alan Taff Watkins, sorry. I played both codes for about 4 seasons while in both unit and corps and civvy. Now my body is broken. So is Loz actually, a little bit.
Yeah.
You see the difference there between the exits for the RAF versus the Army. Really clinical stuff. A couple of phases out wide just to get to the edge of one of the sides of the field, and then Lucy Nye belts it into touch.
Well, the RAF have definitely got a better trust in their phases, whereas I think the Army will look to try and get it out, a phase or two earlier than what the RAF are comfortable doing.
Yeah.
So I think the Army have actually made
a
substitution at half time. We've got Charlie Morgan at 9.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's any more on there.
Chantel Miller's just taken a knock to the head there. Looks like we've got a blood injury. So there's going to be a temporary replacement in the 13 channel for the Army. Hope she's okay.
Yeah, nice to see Charlie come onto the pitch at half time. She did feature at 10 last year, maybe the year before.
Right.
So definitely a utility player. Also does a bit of back row as well for a club, but they will enjoy having her at 9.
And Gemma Pearson come on to replace Chantel Miller there for the blood replacement. I mean, we actually spoke to Charlie Maxwell before the game started. She said that they have got some finishers on the bench, so that maybe they've tried to employ them earlier, given the game situation.
Yeah, what they were doing wasn't working, so why not change things a little bit and see what they can do.
So knock on by the RAF, bit of counter-attack ball available here for the Army.
I mean, Rich, is it back into RAF hands? Is it as easy as just getting those basics right? When people say it all the time, they use that phrase. But is it, once you get that, that's something you can build from?
No, it's really hard. When your team is misfiring and you're just in a little bit of a rut, it sounds so straightforward to just say go back to basics, but it's just not that easy.
RAF with more space here on the left wing again, but they've been pulled back in by the Army.
If it were easy, everyone would do it immediately.
Absolutely.
But these are very skillful players, and it's just in the white heat of the contest, it's not that easy.
Things just seem to be happening for the RAF. I believe in rugby you earn your own luck, but the knock-on that could quite well have been down here eventually went to hand. So and the Army just can't quite keep retaining that ball. So you work hard in training and you earn your own luck on the pitch, I think.
It's been a pretty fast start to this second half. Ball in play time's been quite high. We're 5 minutes into the second half now, and there's the girls look like they're sort of filling their lungs a little bit, because that's been a fairly punchy passage of play.
Not sure we've had any subs for the RAF yet.
We'll double check on that for you. Wild pass there from Nye, but it's gone backwards. Great kick forward there. Gemma Rowland. I mean, we're only 5 minutes into this second half. But there've been
again, knock on from the Army there,
yeah,
and the ref will really look to use this.
Yeah.
Great carry by Wilmore.
She's done some great carries actually, Danica. Charlie Murray there with the ball. Give her some space and she'll cross over too.
There's numbers on the right here. The Army need to fold round the corner and just fill the gaps a little bit.
Again, I think they could be accused of, concentrating too much about what's going on in the middle.
Kate
Lovely
Edwards, line break.
Wonderful line by Kate, wonderful.
All of that.
She saw the space and had to adjust, but in the end had the strength to get over the line as well.
It was the smallest of dog legs as the Army defence came up, but she picked it and just slew through the gap. All well, Army number 8 was down, injured, so they were a body down in their defensive line also.
Yeah, one of the things the RAF do really well is identify the space, but it's all very well identifying it, but they use it so well and quickly as well. Other teams can take a long time to get to where they want to go, but they saw the space. That the Army had a player down on that side as well, so space is opening up, and they use it when they want to, rather than taking 2 or 3 phases to get there.
But they all seem to be running these lines that it looks like they've been doing this for 10 years.
I suspect some of them probably have been doing it longer than that. Yeah,
they've been working on it for that long. So Kate Edwards trying to convert her own try here. So far, no conversions. All penalty kicks have been successful. Oof, hit the post. But I don't think Kate will worry about that too much, having scored that try. We are 7 minutes down in the second half, and the RAF are up now by 4 tries, 20 points to nothing.
Yeah, I think that's another massive blow for the Army, because one of the things I'd imagine they'd have spoken about is getting the first score after half time. When you don't have a first half that works well for you, getting the first score after half time can be a massive pickup, and that will be another massive blow for them.
When we watched the game last year, which the Army won 10-0, and I remember saying it felt like the RAF had scored because they were in such good positions. It feels like this is what's happening, but they're actually converting those good positions now. That's what's changed, in the last 12 months. Amber Guest there, passing off to Annie Forbes. Lovely tackle from Gemma.
Crowd doesn't like that, but I think that was a pretty good tackle for me.
What's the ref calling back for?
Forward pass, I think.
Forward pass there.
The speed that Lucy Nye is getting to the ruck and getting the ball away is really, really impressive. And actually, of course, the forwards are providing the platform, but if that ball doesn't get away from the base as quick as it does, then the RAF just wouldn't have the opportunities they are getting.
Yeah. I mean, Lucy Nye, sevens player, and that'll be where that speed come from.
Yeah, did age grade England stuff as well. And you can tell, can't you?
Yeah.
She's just quality.
Another fairly basic mistake there from the Army, and we're still.
Yeah, I think the wind might have played a little part
I'm
in shifting that a bit. It's unlucky Gemma couldn't get that pick up, but
again, it seemed to be quite a long pass for the weather conditions, I suppose.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't want to pass it that far if it was me.
I couldn't pass it that far. Let's be honest about this. Yeah, the danger, like I said, when they came out after the break, the danger obviously is the RAF could potentially, be get complacent, but I don't think that I can see that happening at the moment.
The Army have got nobody at home here. They're not playing a fullback. They've stuck the fullback in the line. Pretty scrappy ball for the RAS, but they're still in possession.
Yeah, Kat Robinson making meters every single time she takes that ball into contact. She's not just taking the contact, but she's gaining 2 or 3 meters every single time, which means the Army are always on the back foot. It's hard enough defending, but when you've got to go back and then come forward again, it makes it twice as hard.
So if a lovely loose speed from Lucy Nye there, but the Army have cleared it last minute. Gemma try saving kick in a way.
Yeah, another really good position for the RAF though. I don't think there was a right option there. Either she picks it up and the RAF are on her, or it goes out and the RAF will have another set piece.
Yeah.
But finding that space that the Army have opened up for them.
I mean, kind of getting the feeling from what you're both saying is the Army they've not gone into panic mode yet, but they're having to make adjustments that they wouldn't normally want to make because of what the RAF are doing.
When you're 20 points behind, we've got a yellow card here
For Beth Dainton there, that'll be a big blow for them. She's been around a while. She's a really important member of their team as well.
Chantal Mel is back on with a headband, so blood replacement has been reversed.
Yeah, when you're 20 points down and there's half an hour left, it does force you a little bit to start to take decisions that are outside your game plan, because you've got to get back in the game. And hitherto, the Army haven't had that much success going out the back and trying to get play wide, and now they're trying to do it even more. And I think this is where we are.
Paying for it, yes.
Great line out steal.
It was.
The Army will have to work really hard here. One man down. Life isn't easy for them at the minute, let alone being a person down as well.
Yeah, and again, I mean, we talk about mindset all the time, but they just need to not think about that and just,
Here we go, so they've tapped and gone, trying to change things up a little bit.
Lou does there with a kick forward.
Amber Guest running things back for the RAF.
There's always a little ripple of excitement when Amy gets the ball through the middle.
Yeah, you never quite know what she's going to do with it.
And penalty to the Army for not rolling away.
I think that was rolling on the ground. Too many rolls from Charlie Murray on the ground, I think. Always try your luck with how many rolls you can get away with the referee, I think, in this day and age.
I mean, we haven't even mentioned the referee. Rich is pretty sure he played for the Navy or coached the Navy.
Yeah, he was 2010 squad, I believe. Hooker, great line out throwing. I think he looks in better shape now than he did back then, actually.
He's having a good day today, definitely.
Yeah, well, the fact that we haven't had to mention him probably says that, doesn't it?
A little bit of indecision from the Army there, and the RAF have got easy possession. Can't help it sometimes. Loves the contact.
Yes. Oh, unfortunate. That's fairly uncharacteristic from Danica in this game so far.
So opportunity here for the Army. Turnover ball. Gemma Rowland trying to get a bit of momentum going, unfortunately slips.
It's all right, still in Army hands.
Yeah, you can see they like using Gemma. She's very quick to get her hands on the ball. I just don't think she can do this on her own.
No.
They've got to start using the whole back line, and
this is better from the Army, punching it up the middle, keeping those running lines nice and straight. RAF of defence is very narrow at the moment. You could throw a net round them, slowly fanning out, and
I'd imagine the RAF are going to start making changes quite soon. You can see You can see people are starting to get tired, and the textbook rugby we saw in the first half isn't quite what it is in the second.
Ellen Cunningham says, great to see such a competitive match worthy of playing at Twickenham. I mean, we've always hoped that might be in the pipeline, but that's not really our decision.
Yeah, women's rugby's moving forward, and just being at a great ground like this is such a privilege for the girls, and where they play their club rugby at the weekend is getting better as well, so it will catch up with the times. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
Oh, lovely run there by Gemma, showing what she's made of. She's still got the ball,
What a
and
run.
she's got support.
This is looking good. Oh.
That was Chantal Miller as well, but that was a knock-on with 2 or 3 players out there on the right wing. I think that just sums up maybe what the Army are having a day of so far.
Gemma Rowland absolutely slicing the RAF apart there. Excellent balanced running. Just a shame that they couldn't finish off in the corner there.
I think they could have done with being a bit closer to her.
Yeah.
Gemma definitely trying to force a pass that was a little bit wider than the weather would allow. Chantel's had quite a hard day in the office, I think, today, and she's really starting to feel that, knocks and bumps, slow to get off the ground.
Chantal Miller briefly on the ground there, but she's back up and ready to go as they scrum down. It's 15 minutes gone here in the second half. The Inter-Services Army versus RAF Women's Rugby. I think that was dropped there by RAF captain. So it's turnover to.
Yeah, I
Army
think there was a knock
There's
on there.
numbers here if they can.
It's a bit unpredictable.
Yeah, so the Army number 10 again down. They've had a really, really tough day today, and it's just starting to wear on them, I think. I think the Army have changed things up in the scrum as well. I'm not sure that was Charlie Morgan as a defensive 9 then. I think it might have been Alex Hardy maybe. She's struggling with something, and Charlie's gone in to push in the scrum maybe.
This is much better than now from the Army than the first half. They do look a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more momentum is in their direction, and I think field position they've got at the moment, if they can get a score, then at least they give themselves a sort of fighting shot at properly getting back into the game.
Yeah, not sure who the Army are going to bring on if their number 10 doesn't get back up. They've got both Ludod and Charlie who can play that position, and Gemma as well.
Gemma,
so they've got lots of options. I'm not sure who their first go-to is on the bench.
Well, I mean, the way they've been playing in the second half, it looks like Gemma's almost come into that 10 position rather than being sort of leaving the fullback out. But like you guys have been discussing, perhaps that's they've had to sort of react to being 20 points down.
Yeah, that's the Army 10 going off, unfortunately.
Okay, they're bringing
number 22 coming on.
23.
Gemma Pearson,
22.
we believe.
In fact, she came on for Chantal for the blood replacement, so she's on now. I mean, yeah, there must be some names on that Army list that you don't recognise, Loz, because there's some young, fresh faces out there.
Yeah, more than I thought, actually. Yeah, they're definitely trying to pull players through and trying to grow the game. You can't hold on to people like Gemma forever, so it's really important that they get the game time and the experience that she's got.
Yeah.
For family and friends of Lily Patrick, looks like a wrist injury, which is getting iced down on the bench now.
Good chase down there by both teams, in fact.
Yeah, that's a really, really good gather from Charlie, RAF number 13.
Charlie, of course, who's played a bit of international for Wales as well.
Just seem to maintain the go forward a little bit better than what the Army are.
You want Rhea Walton to go over because you just felt she's been close so many times.
Yeah, and again, I thought that looked like a knock-on, but I think it came off someone's foot. So once again, the RAF just maintain that possession and can keep their game plan going forward.
Great tackle there on the outside by Ray Dean.
There have been a couple of comments on our Facebook feed from people who said the RAF just looked like they want it more. I mean, definitely that was the case in the first half, but like you guys have both said, you know, the Army have definitely made a step up in this second half.
Yeah, RAF unable to use that, so Army will get head and feed at this scrum.
Everyone wants to see a good game of rugby. That's, you know, we all want to see that. Maybe we want to see a close game of rugby, but you feel like after so many years, whatever happens, you know, you want RAF and the Navy eventually at Loz. We want to see them competing at this level as well.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Army have definitely upped their tempo. First half they probably would have tried to kick for touch, and the second half they're sort of tapping and going and trying to put the tempo up a little bit. Unsuccessful there with a little error creeping in, but certainly in the right direction for the Army.
There's also the sort of, because we've seen a lot of new faces, and I know that you know they've got a few injuries, and again I'm not making that as an excuse, but there's certainly that element that they don't look like they've played together as much as the RAF girls have.
No, the RAF girls have all played rugby quite well together as well. You know, there's a lot of ex-Lichfield girls. You know, Chrissy and Kat both play at Surrey's together, and so they will be, I'd imagine, very familiar with each other.
Yeah. Well, you can certainly tell. And just a reminder that we are now 16 minutes in, and it is still 20 points to the RAF.
Yeah,
Nothing
big
to
pick
the
up there
Army.
for the Army. Wheeling at the scrum, so they now get the head and feed. They will look to use this. That's Beth Dainton back on as well. Another big pick me up for the Army girls.
Okay, so we are 20 points to the RAF and no points to the Army so far, but they are definitely looking better and stronger in this second half. Reminder that we're bringing you this live from Kingsholm Stadium in Gloucester. Interception there, but a knock-on for the RAF, and it kind of tells the story of the day. Ellie Fletcher is now on for the RAF, a replacement. And another time check. We're about 22 minutes into this. So 1 quarter left as we head towards the culmination of the second round of the inter-services, Army versus RAF. And at the moment, we could be part of history here. If the RAF win this, they win the inter-services for the first time ever, and it'll be the first time the Army women have lost a game.
Yeah, so a penalty here to the Army, and they've elected to go for the scrum. It will help that Beth Dainton's back on the pitch. They're back up to full complement, but they've obviously got a bit more confidence in their set piece in this half.
And there's still one down at the moment.
No, Beth Dainton's back on the
Beth
pitch
Dainton's
now.
back on.
Yeah, they weathered that really well.
Yeah, they did.
I thought they might have lost quite a few points during that 10 minutes, but they should take a lot of confidence from the fact that they didn't during that yellow card.
Yep. They had the space there, but that's a good tackle by the RAF.
Turnover.
Yeah, you can see the Army
Very good
identifying a
tackle.
space, but not quite getting there as quickly as they'd like.
Another strong carry from Wilmore. Excellent running.
Amy Cockayne pushing off defence. Ball's still in RAF hands, and there's a lot of space out there. It's in Sean Williams at the moment. They've been so good at this, keeping hold of the ball so close to their try line and making it work for them. Danica's been brilliant, I think, the carries that she's been making there at the front.
Yeah, I always remember Danica playing hooker, but I think she can play anywhere in the front row and still be a real asset.
Sorry, Loz, I wasn't huffing and puffing at
He's
your
going for the
commentary.
pocket again. There's another yellow card.
Oh gosh, who's that for?
Yeah.
Was that? It was.
Was that a yellow card there? I think it might have been. Oh, is that Lou Dodd as well?
Yeah, it's Lou, because Lou came in on the. I mean, but the RAF had 3 people out. It was a clear score.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely.
But so Lou Dodds was probably in try-saving mode. But
Loz, do you take the points
pay
here?
for it.
No, I wouldn't. That's probably why they never made me captain. Yeah, they will really miss Lou Dodd on this, and I'd imagine that Gemma's going to probably feature a little bit closer in the midfield while
I think
Lou's
she's sort of pushed in already, hasn't she?
I quite like this decision making from the RAF, because whilst they're 20 points up, taking 3 points here in front of the sticks shows a sort of, in a way, a bit of a killer instinct that they need to keep the scoreboard moving and just put it further and further out of reach of the Army at every opportunity they get.
First success actually for Kate between the sticks, so that could be another reason. She wanted to prove that she could get one over, but that puts the RAF 23 points to nothing up, and we're 25 minutes down. So 15 minutes to go here at Gloucester, and it's the Army with nothing and the RAF with 23.
Yeah, restart to the Army here. They will want to keep it up this end of the pitch.
But like you say, without Lou Dodds, that's quite a massive hole that they're missing, because that girl, she likes to score tries. Yeah,
let's see what they've got.
So will Gemma Rowland come into the centre now, Loz, do you think?
Almost definitely, yeah. If she hasn't already, I know they've shuffled their back line round a little bit. She will be key for the next 10 minutes, Gemma.
2 yellow cards, though, to a team who are sort of this far behind. Does it show a little bit of panic, a little bit of, not quite sure what they should be doing at this stage?
I'm not sure it's panic. They're just not familiar with this position.
Yeah.
They're just not used to coming from behind, nor are they used to coming from behind at such a big scoreline either.
Charlie Murray there showing
yards
some
from
pace.
Charlie Murray.
She has got pace. Oh, unfortunate. Well, I think she thought she had that one in the bag, but couldn't quite shake off the Army defence. Great running there by Charlie Murray.
Yeah, the RAF are going to have really good stats on their metres gained.
But made a lot of space, so made a lot of ground there.
Good disrupt there from Kat Robinson in the air.
So Gemma Rowland looks to have moved to 10 and will be trying to control things from there.
Alex Hardy, is that at second receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was me, I would definitely look to kick that out. I'm not sure playing from our own 22 with one man down is what's going to turn the game around.
Loz, you know they're going to score now from their own 22 after you said
Probably,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like they're a little bit reluctant to let the ball go. And while we, just a little break off here, we're now. Is that blood injury coming? Yeah, possible blood injury. Well, definitely a bloody nose there for the RAF.
Yeah, Kat won't spend too long on the ground if she can. She's, she loves to go forward. She's a really fit player. She's done really well today in keeping the go forward for the RAF.
Okay, it does look like we might have some RAF replacements coming on. Which I guess Loz and Rich at this stage of the game definitely makes sense. We're into the last quarter.
Yeah, most people call them energisers or finishers now, and that's what we like them to come on and do. Whether you want to maintain the game plan that you've been doing or change it slightly, there's a place for everyone from 1 to 23 in a game like today.
Kirsty O'Brien coming on there, and Lieutenant that's Elise Fletcher. So that will be some fresh legs on the RAF side. And a reminder that they are 23 points to the good with 10 minutes to go. So
wow, great carry there.
Yeah, that's the sub straight in the thick of it there for the RAF.
Great carry by Chelsea.
And the Army at this point will just want to prove what we all know they are capable of doing. But I think it's safe to say that the game is lost to them at this point with 10 minutes to go.
It would be a good turnaround if it wasn't.
Beth Dainton's looked pretty lively as far as it going with the Army, Loz.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that in the first half. I really wanted to see them use her a bit better and try and bring her into the game, but she's definitely involved more in the second half.
Space on the left here for the Army. Chelsea takes the direct route up the middle and they look to recycle.
That's a good decision. A break there from...
Yeah, again, Beth Dayton straight in there.
I think this is the closest the Army have been. As they push on for that score.
They just need to not force things here. Go through their phases, the opportunities will come. Try.
It's exactly what they were looking for, obviously. A try for the Army. I think that's a Chelsea Sneed who dragged it over.
Yeah,
well
I think
done,
the
Chelsea.
RAF will be really disappointed with that, considering the Army are one man down as well.
Beth Dainton getting her hands on the ball quite a bit in that passage of play, and she's definitely involved in everything that's positive in the second half, where the Army their performance is much better than the first. Still leaves a little bit to be desired, but still much better than the first half.
Yeah, I think the mistakes that were there in the first half have disappeared, and they warranted a try for it. Gemma Rowland here lining up for the conversion. And that's over. So we have the Army at 7 and the RAF 23 with possibly 5 minutes to go.
Neil Maguire, hello to you in Kurdistan.
Wow. I do love our global viewership. Oh, Darren Crouch, you said kickoff was at 1500. That's the men's game. We'll be back for that. So you won't be able to stay live with us, but do come back about 10 minutes before kickoff, and we'll bring you the men's game as well. Hopefully it will be as good as this one. So into the very final few minutes here at Gloucester at Kingsholm Stadium. The RAF are up 23-7, and as if you need reminding, the Army have never lost, I keep saying that, never lost an inter-services match at rugby, and they are on the brink of history here.
Ree Walton leaves the field for the RAF. Great shift from her.
She deserved a try.
Yeah, Kat Robinson
meters.
still doing what she has done from the start and gaining meters every single time.
Yeah, that went forward. So the Army will have the put in here at the scrum. At this point in the game, I guess, you know, they'll be glad to have got a score and to have got on the scoreboard. But and I'm not saying heads will go down, but they know that it's pretty much a done deal. So I guess it's just grinding it out for that last 5 minutes.
For our viewers online, we haven't got a direct link to the ref's watch, but we're approximately about 5 minutes to run on this game. Wow.
The RAF are certainly not complacent.
That would be no messing around from Annie Forbes.
Do stay with us at the culmination of this match. We'll have plenty of reaction from our pitchside reporter, Julian Evans, who I think will be so pleased after his many years at BFBS to be recording a win for the RAF women.
Yeah, again, line out not quite going as they like for the RAF, and subsequently a penalty to the Army. Give
Lots of
them
space on the left here if they can get it through the hands.
Yeah, I think if they have a debrief of this game, the Army will definitely wish that they'd played in the first half like they've played now in the second half. A lot more joined up from the looks of things.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna like their performance feedback. No. Navy will probably feel that next week.
Ball turned over. There's no one at home here for a box kick.
And again, another turnover there, I think, for the Army. Oh no, and it's gone for the penalty.
Again, quickly taken by Lucy Nye.
Yeah, a distinct improvement on the rucking efforts from the Army. I wonder if they initially planned to ice the rucks and just not compete, but they're definitely throwing more numbers in this half.
We're in the last few minutes of the game here at Kingsholm Stadium. You're watching history in the making with the RAF 23 points to 7 up against the Army women, and never before have the Army women been beaten in an inter-services fixture. Definitely the morning, or the first part of the day, has been light blue, that's for sure. Of course, we'll follow up with the men's game at 3 o'clock. Please join us again. It's been an exciting day so far, and we hope that they can bring the same kind of level of commitment we've seen here. I mean, it's, you know, to win it in 2 matches in the as well, obviously, because they don't have the game, the Army Navy, as the final game. To win it in 2 as well for the RAF girls, just to, you know, they may go to the Army Navy match next week, whether they go to the women's match at Excellent or whether they go up to Twickenham, but just knowing that they can go there. I'm preempting, but I'm just assuming, you know, to be part of history in 20 years. This has never been done, and they said they would do it, and done it, and they've, it's not just been a pipe dream. They're actually there.
No, and they've all worked so hard for it. They've had a big effort on their S&C as well, and the girls have really responded to that.
So we're just a couple of niggles out there on the pitch, but we really are in the dying minutes of this game, and I can't even imagine what the celebrations are going to be like for the light blue family, and they've fully deserved it, not just for this game, but the effort that they've made over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Kat Robinson just leaving the field now.
She's had a stormer.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to affect the game, but she will have wanted to see this game out, I think.
Great shift from Kat Robinson.
Yeah, game changer, definitely.
If you're still with us, don't go anywhere. This game is going to be over in the next few minutes, and it will be the first ever win for the RAF women in the Inter-Services Rugby. I can't say it enough because I think I'm sort of pinching myself as well. Good game for rugby. I'm not sure if we've definitely got a few potential ideas for our man of match. Loz, women of the match. Who would you put down?
There's got to be a massive recognition for Amy at 10, doing such a great job in a position that she doesn't naturally do. Lucy Nye, the tempo and the pace that she provides has been great. Kate Edwards and Charlie Murray in defence have been quality, but for me, the amount of go forward and the amount of continuity that RAF have got, my man in the match is definitely got to go to Kat Robinson.
Okay, but who would your woman of the match be?
Definitely.
No, we're all equal here. Rich, would you agree there with Loz's sentiments?
Yeah, absolutely. Lucy Nye, speed of ball, absolutely brilliant. Her sevens, pedigree, fitness, tempo coming through. But you need go forward, and the likes of Kat have provided that platform for Lucy to get the ball away.
I think the amount of times we've said, Kat's name during the course of the game shows you how much she's shown up for the RAF. And they will just be, well, I'd like to say they probably can't wait for the final whistle, but they're probably loving it out there.
Yeah, absolutely living the dream.
John Griffin, RAF, first ever win. Well done, RAF, flying high. Get the puns in now, people. Okay, Army, just waiting for the last play of the game. We're not entirely sure of the timings, but we are literally in the dying seconds now of this game. And a reminder of the score, the RAF are 23, the Army are 7. 1 try to the Army, 4 to the RAF. Yeah,
Sean Williams down on one knee at the minute. She's been particularly quiet for me today.
Has, for Sean.
A big name for the RAF, and I thought her Chrissy and Kat were going to be a real big impact on today's game.
Knock on there from the Army. Unfortunately, a bit of a tail of the game.
Not sure you ever know what the ref's got on his clock, do you?
No, even if you're mic'd up.
Sun's starting to just come out. It's actually been really quite chilly here with you can't really perhaps see it, although you can a little bit in some of the girls' hair, but the wind has been swirling pretty thoroughly at Kingsholm here.
And they've dealt with it well as well. The rugby hasn't taken a hit with that.
Maybe the RAF here with a last little flourish, just showing us what has got them to a 23 points on the board.
Yeah, it would be really easy with this scoreline to just tuck it up your jumper and try and retain possession, but they still look like they want to score tries. They still look like they want to be at that end of the pitch.
Punting it into space there. RAF still with ball in hand. They'll want that. They'll keep playing until the final whistle. Holding on.
Great turnover there from the Army, getting over the ball. Great base, strong position, and couldn't be shifted.
Yeah, the RAF have done really well to get the points on the board earlier in the game, because they're starting to look a bit tired. Support's a little bit slower than what it was in the first half, and it's quite nice for them to have the points already in the bag.
Doc Cox, a well-known name to a lot of you, has said well done to the RAF coaching side led by John Wilding, and I think a lot can be said for John and Ian and all the coaches on that side who have really turned this team around in the last few years.
Yeah, definitely, and there's such big names within women's rugby. This is not a new thing for them. They've been doing it for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, we'll see them on the pitch at the end, but as much as the 23 squad players have played well, the coaching staff and the backroom staff and all those who've gone before, who've got the RAF to this point, who aren't playing, anymore, will take part in this history-making celebration that I'm sure is only seconds away, but I've not entirely sure of what the time is. But we're at 40 minutes on my clock.
This might just run dead.
Lovely kick from Roland, though.
I thought that might be it, but he still must have time on his watch.
Maybe he's enjoying his run out as much as he did when he was a player.
Chelsea Sneed for the Army last 20 minutes or so has really put herself about, and a number of actually the Army pack have sort of stepped it up a little bit second half, which is great to see.
I mean, is there an argument, and I've probably gone on about it a lot, but is there an argument for, now that the Army have suffered this first ever loss, that not that they need to buck up their ideas at all, because they're a really good bunch of professional players, but will this sort of make them think about how they approach inter-services?
I think it's hard to go unbeaten for so long and not let any complacency whatsoever creep into your camp.
Yeah, that's always the worry, isn't it?
I mean, as the years have gone on, they've definitely upped their warm-up games. Definitely coming to play the Navy at IS. I mean, you could probably guess it a mile away, but they're still playing. They went to England Nomads, England under 20s. They're playing international sides. So I'm not sure the Army are complacent as such, because they work really, really hard out of IS. I just think this year the RAF have just wanted it a little bit more.
Absolutely, and that's shown.
And Geraint Ashton-Jones, who's the last senior men's coach to win at Twickenham, I distinctly remember that when we won, he would be immensely dissatisfied with anything we did, and if we lost, he would pump us up a little bit. And I think that always did something to balance how good you feel about the team and how how optimistic or getting ahead of yourself. Tall poppies.
Not a man to give a compliment freely, is he?
No.
Yeah, and credit to the Army. You can see they want the points as well. The game is probably lost, but they still want more points on the board.
And that's a try.
Wow. It's all come a little too late for the Army, as they put another 5 points on the board. So it's 23-12 as it stands. And
is that Ludard, is it? With another try to her name.
And deservedly so. And I think she's going to try and convert her own try. Very well deserved from the Army. They've had a good second half. But I think anything was a good second half in comparison to their first half. And the RAF, we were still on the line defending it. They don't want them to score any more points, but yeah, they're still playing to the end. But I don't think I think this could well be the last.
Yeah, by the looks of the
kick
Army,
match.
I think this is time done. I think.
Yeah. So 23-12 and to the RAF, and an historic first ever win in the inter-services. The Army have never lost before. Well done, Lou Dodds. 23-14. Final score and a win. First ever inter-services win for the RAF.
Lots of very happy faces down there.
Oh God, they so deserve it. I mean, that wasn't just a win. They completely came here and deserved to win that and deserved the title. And do you know what? I've spoken to Chrissy 6 Hour at the end of every RAF game over the last 5 or 6 years, and she's always got a smile on her face. But I want to run down and give her a massive hug now, because this is so largely to do with her enthusiasm, her commitment. I think she'll feel like she wants to retire. I'm getting a bit emotional myself, but you know, she's done so much, and she's such a deserved winning captain for this.
Yeah, they've all worked so hard for this.
And there'll be no bad feeling from the Army, because like you say, Loz, they play each other all the time. They play with each other, play against each other, and they know that this is better for women's rugby. This is better for women's rugby in the military and all over.
And you can see the injuries and the girls that weren't selected on the pitch as well. And it's a whole squad thing. You know, you can't do it with 15 or 23 girls. It's much bigger than that.
Ian's having a very big hug with what I can only assume is his daughter. Yes, Ian, the cocaine's there. It's a family affair. I don't think I'm speechless. I'm just so pleased for them. I'm so pleased for them. And we called this in the office this week, and we said, both Julian and John both said, you know, the RAF can do it. And I was thinking, I don't know, the Army, we always think the RAF can do it, and the Army always came from behind sometimes, or at least from a worse position than that. And I can't believe I'm here for this, you know, history-making day, and I don't know, I feel like I should be more excited. But
Commiserations to the Army. They really stepped up second half, but they've got plenty to go away and get stuck into now and prep for next year. And I think it's fairly confident in saying that they'll be back next year with the bit between their teeth.
Absolutely, gosh, that's what I was saying. I think this will kick them on. Not that they weren't good and weren't professional, weren't, you know, pretty good in their lead up to it, but it's just the fact that this will, I just think it's so good for the military rugby, and you know, I really want the Navy to, in 5 years' time, be in this position as well. Now we can join Julian Evans, who's down on the pitch with deservedly and brilliant captain, RAF captain, Chrissy 6 Hour.
Chrissy 6 Hour, skipper of this victorious Royal Air Force women's side. Try and sum up the emotions that are going through you at the moment.
Disbelief, to be honest. I think, well, I knew we could do it, but we just had to come out and do it. And fair play every single one of the girls. You know, it's not just this team, it's the last 5 years worth of teams that have put us to a place where we can come to a ground like this and compete. And I'm just overwhelmed with emotion.
Beaten the side that have never lost an inter-services fixture, and if you look at the scoreboard, comfortably as well. You probably might not say that. You probably wouldn't say that, but the manner in which you put this Army side to the sword today says an awful lot about the light blues.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we've worked so hard. There's people out here that are on the sideline that are part of the squad. They're not playing today, but they're part of the squad. And I've got to say credit to the Army girls, because 5 years ago they set the standard, and they absolutely, you know, they pushed us, and we had to meet it. And it's taken a few years, but we've finally done it.
As you said, it's not just the 15 that started the match, it's not the 23 that are involved in the match. It goes further than that.
Yeah, it's players that have retired, it's players that can't play this year through injury or through medical or whatever, but you know, it's one big family. We call ourselves a light blue family because we are, and I think the celebrations at the end of the game showed what it means.
And just finally, because you want to get part of that celebrations as well, but your coaching staff, John Wilding and everybody else.
Yeah, you know, John, Brookie, our S&C coach, Holly, our physio, Michelle, our team manager, but like old coaches, Tomo, current coaches, Coops and Ian and John, you know, they push us so hard, and it's thanks to them that we've won.
Congratulations, you go and enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Well done to you. Look at that, somebody's very happy. What a way to start your weekend.
Yes.
Chrissy 6 Hour there, winning captain, making history here at Gloucester. Kingsholm Stadium, first ever win for anyone other than the Army at an inter-services level in the women's game, 23-14. And it wasn't just a win, it wasn't just the RAF coming here and trying against the Army. They fully pulled out all the stops, and from the first kick of the game, they were the better team, and deservedly so. 23-14, we're part of history here. I'm glad you've all joined us from wherever you are in the world. Please come back at 3 o'clock. We've got an equally decisive game with the RAF men and the Army men playing each other. Thanks very much to my co-commentators, Loz Salisbury and Rich Mason. I'm sure we'll be hearing from them again. I hope they've had fun. I hope they've enjoyed being part of the history. Like I said, come back, watch us on forces.net, on YouTube or on our Facebook site at 3 o'clock, and we will bring you John Knighton will be bringing you the men's game. But thanks for joining us wherever you are in the world. Well done to the RAF. A final reminder, we've made history here today, 23-14 to the RAF women. The Army, for the first time ever, have been beaten at Inter-Services Rugby.